Imagine swimming in the open ocean, minding your own business, when suddenly, a massive shadow appears beneath you. It gets closer and closer until you can make out its enormous, gaping mouth. You might think it's about to devour you whole. But then, something strange happens. It simply swims by, completely ignoring you. What just happened? Meet the basking shark, one of the largest fish in the world, often considered one of the scariest animals in the ocean, yet completely harmless to humans. Welcome to Amazing World Facts, where today we dive deep into the fascinating world of the basking shark, uncovering why this gentle giant, despite its fearsome appearance, is actually one of the most misunderstood creatures of the deep. Join us as we explore the anatomy, feeding habits, behavior, and conservation efforts surrounding this incredible species. Prepare to be amazed as we reveal why the basking shark is both terrifying and totally harmless. The basking shark, Cedarinis maximus, is the second largest fish in the world, only smaller than the mighty whale shark. These ocean behemoths can grow up to 40 feet in length, which is roughly the size of a school bus. They weigh around 4 to 6 tons, making them some of the heaviest fish swimming through the world's oceans. But don't be fooled by their size or their gaping mouths. They are gentle giants, harmless to humans and other large marine animals. One of the most distinctive features of the basking shark is its enormous, cavernous mouth, which can stretch up to 3 feet wide. At first glance, this might look like the mouth of a dangerous predator, but the truth is far less sinister. Basking sharks are filter feeders just like the whale shark. They swim with their mouths wide open, filtering tiny plankton and small fish from the water. Despite their intimidating size, basking sharks pose no threat to humans. Basking sharks are filter feeders, meaning they feed by swimming slowly through plankton-rich waters with their mouths open wide. Their primary diet consists of plankton, which are tiny organisms floating near the surface of the ocean. These organisms are critical to marine ecosystems, and basking sharks play an important role in controlling plankton populations. But how exactly do they manage to filter such tiny creatures from the water? The basking shark's feeding method is a marvel of nature. Inside their mouths, they have specialized gill rakers that act like giant sieves. As the shark swims forward, water enters its mouth and passes over the gill rakers, which trap the plankton. The water is then expelled through the gill slits, leaving behind the nutritious plankton for the shark to swallow. They can filter an incredible 1.5 million liters of water per hour. That's enough to fill an Olympic-sized swimming pool. However, despite this massive water intake, basking sharks only consume about 2 kilograms, or 4.4 pounds, of plankton per hour. So why do basking sharks have such a fearsome reputation if they're so harmless? Part of it comes down to their appearance. Their wide mouths, rows of tiny teeth, and slow, deliberate movements can make them seem menacing. In fact, some people have even mistaken basking sharks for great white sharks at first glance. From a distance, it's easy to confuse the two. Both sharks have triangular dorsal fins and bulky bodies, but there's one major difference. Basking sharks have tiny, vestigial teeth that are nearly useless, while great whites have sharp, serrated teeth designed for tearing through prey. Their mouths are also structured differently. Great white sharks have narrower, more menacing jaws, while basking sharks' mouths look more like gaping holes. The basking shark's harmless nature lies in its unique feeding strategy. Their gigantic mouths aren't designed to bite or attack. They're simply large to help capture as much plankton as possible. Basking sharks are widely distributed across the globe, but they're most commonly found in temperate waters. This includes the North Atlantic, the Mediterranean Sea, and parts of the Pacific. They prefer cooler waters, often migrating to coastal areas during the summer to feed on abundant plankton blooms. When not feeding, they can dive to incredible depths, sometimes plunging as deep as 3,000 feet. Despite their vast range, basking sharks are elusive creatures, and sightings are relatively rare. They often travel alone or in small groups, gliding gracefully through the water as they search for plankton. One of the most fascinating things about basking sharks is their calm and docile nature. These sharks are known for their slow, relaxed swimming style, and they often seem completely indifferent to humans and boats nearby. Divers who have encountered basking sharks report that these animals are curious but non-aggressive, making them one of the safest large marine animals to observe up close. Another interesting behavior is their tendency to bask near the surface, which is how they got their name. They often cruise near the surface of the water with their mouths wide open, filtering plankton as they swim. This behavior makes them easy to spot and gives the impression that they're lazily soaking up the sun like beachgoers. Occasionally, basking sharks have been seen breaching, launching their enormous bodies out of the water in a behavior typically associated with whales. Scientists are still unsure why basking sharks breach, but it may be related to mating displays or an attempt to remove parasites from their skin. Basking sharks are evolutionary marvels that have been around for millions of years. Their ancestors date back to the Jurassic period, which means basking sharks have been roaming the ocean since long before humans ever walked the earth. Despite their ancient lineage, basking sharks have remained largely unchanged over time. Their unique adaptation of filter feeding has allowed them to thrive in ocean environments where plankton is plentiful. While most sharks evolved to be swift hunters with sharp teeth and powerful jaws, basking sharks took a different evolutionary path. Their filter-feeding lifestyle required them to develop a slower, more energy-efficient approach to finding food. Despite their peaceful nature, basking sharks face significant threats in the wild. In the past, they were hunted for their liver oil, which was used in lamps, lubricants, and even cosmetics. Their fins were also highly prized in the shark fin trade, which decimated their populations. Today, they are considered vulnerable by the International Union for Conservation of Nature, IUCN. Overfishing, bycatch and fishing nets, and habitat degradation continue to threaten basking sharks. These gentle giants need our help if they are to survive for future generations. Thankfully, there are ongoing conservation efforts aimed at protecting basking sharks. In many countries, including the UK and the US, they are now legally protected. Scientists are also working to learn more about their migration patterns and behavior by tagging and tracking individual sharks. Marine protected areas, where human activities are restricted, are also playing a crucial role in safeguarding the habitats of basking sharks and other marine species. Basking sharks may look terrifying at first glance, but in reality, they're some of the most peaceful creatures in the ocean. These gentle giants remind us that appearances can be deceiving, and even the most intimidating animals can be harmless. As we learn more about the basking shark and its vital role in marine ecosystems, it's up to us to ensure their survival. The ocean is full of mysteries and wonders, and the basking shark is just one example of how extraordinary and diverse life in our seas can be. So, the next time you spot a massive shadow in the water, don't be afraid. It might just be a basking shark swimming peacefully through the ocean, completely unaware of how terrifying it looks to us, and completely harmless.